I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I am the Dungeon Master, and this is Heroes Wanted. We are rejoining the party after they have defeated the Blood Witch. First, they had to fight her Blood Dragon form, then, they had to fight her in her Blood Witch form, and now, having completely destroyed both of her forms, they are left to head back to the Blood Witch's tower where um, the Blood Golems have their stuff that they want. And so as you guys approach the Tower of the Blood Witch, which you have of course, you know, seen before, um you can see the twisted trees dripping with blood. You can see the path leading up, and you can see the blood golems just kind of standing in front of the tower like how they were at first, just motionless. And so, as you guys know, I don't like to force anything. So rather than saying that you guys do this or that or approach in this or that way or whatever, I'm going to now turn it over to the intrepid players and their characters to tell me what exactly they do or don't do.
Hey, doo doo. Um,
Uh,
did we manage to get a long rest in?
No, definitely not. Like you can. That's not out of the question, but I went with the assumption that you guys would at least go see what's going on over at the Blood Witch's Tower as expediently as possible and kind of go from there. And so, like I said, you guys have not engaged the tower, but you have scoped it out and seen that the blood golems are just still on duty, etc. And so if you desire to go somewhere and take a long rest or whatever, you can. But as of right now, at this moment, uh, you would have had time for a short rest only.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Now I believe Cress would not be available for this because I did this for her already. But and I know the Santis wouldn't need it, and I know Soggy wouldn't need it. Um, I'm going to use my healer feat on myself before our short rest.
Didn't you do that?
They use their healer feat
No,
on me.
Just on you? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Is Nova still not able to pilot their character sheet?
Correct.
nope.
Okay. I'll do it then. Or kinda.
Hit.
But it's 1d6 plus 4 plus 10.
He's got it all, like, it's all on your sheet.
Okay.
It's easy.
It's all just point and click. You just got to tell them what powers you want to use.
Okay. So Nova was at full health.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. Never mind then. All right. I will say I don't think that I have ever been this exhausted before.
You should go to sleep.
Soggy feels constant exhaustion. So Soggy also feels like he is wind.
Hey, Visanthus.
Yes.
What do you know about the command and this infrastructure of the golems over there? Do you know anything?
Yes, the Blood Witch, she was very, very, uh, directly paranoid. Her fears got the best of her often, and she would accuse her underlings of all manner of betrayal. And so, as a result, only she held the key for the blood golems. Uh, we did not find it on her, so it must be in her private sanctum.
Mm.
If you want, if if Nova wants, Soggy can try and sneak into place.
Our ethereal friend might have stumbled upon an idea. He leaves no trace, no trail, and can move silently, even to the point of being able to phase through solid objects momentarily. So, uh, first of all, go ahead and give yourself a point of inspiration. But then, second of all, I would be willing to support this plan.
While it does sound like a good plan, I am concerned for you, Sagi. You see, I have never encountered anyone like yourself in the current state in which you are in. In the last, while we were fighting, I noticed that your essence scattered. And I don't know what would happen to you if it were to happen again. If you believe it is our best shot, then perhaps we should do it. But please, I implore you to take the utmost safety and precaution while you do so.
Ah, yes. Soggy's famous restraint and caution.
Soggy sort of like, after hearing this, sort of just slowly just turns his head to Besances and just sort of gives him a stink eye. and then turns back to Nova and says, "Trust me, Soggy is usually careful, unless Soggy is angry. And Soggy is not angry, so Soggy is careful."
I know that Nova does not know this. I also know Soggy wouldn't know this. Uh, but I assume DeSantis would because he's still technically the same DeSantis. I, I wonder how DeSantis views Soggy, knowing that like when he was at the cusp of this victory after like corrupting the Sunblade the first time, that like Soggy just jumped at him and ripped out of his hands, and then like ran away, essentially flipping him off.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Vasanthus has tormented Soggy for a reason.
I better keep an eye on this guy. Like,
Yeah, like definitely a little bit of revenge, or like at least grudge. You know.
like, yeah, I can't seem to get away from this guy. Like,
Yeah. It's like,
it's like I'm a master vampire, and I was bested by a kobold in physical combat while I was like super upgraded.
yeah. It's like Peyton Manning having to play Tom Brady in the playoffs every year. It's like, oh, not this guy again.
Oh yeah, like regular Tom Brady on any regular day, yeah, but during the playoffs, the guy becomes like it's a different beast entirely.
Yeah, and so like, you're so great and you're so great, but then there's somebody that just seems to have your number. Yeah. So yeah, Visanthus definitely I won't make you guys even roll the insight. He definitely has a thing for Soggy, and you're not exactly sure, you know, where he falls on the whole like, love hate spectrum for Soggy, but like there's definitely a complex mix of like admiration for the warlock's powers and all of that, and like hatred of having anyone having gotten the better of him ever.
Yeah, and I actually has it. I want to put some real emphasis on here so that you can know for an absolute fact. Every single time, with the exception of when Sagi became a vampire in the first, like, after that, every time we were at our bleakest and everything was going to shit and we were just in the absolute worst possible predicaments, Sagi just pulls some bullshit out of his ass and turns a fuck situation into at least a manageable one.
Like with the
Like the sword. Or when you got turned into a vampire in the first place because you just was like, nah, I'm gonna keep banging my head against this wall because this guy gotta get stopped. Well, you died and became a vampire. You ultimately saved the life of the rest of the party.
Oh, for sure. Visanthus was going to kill you all.
Like, Sagi has always been there. Like, every time the shit was about to go, like, kaputski, Sagi was like, nah. More so than almost every character that has come through this campaign.
fantastical, isn't it?
So, as you guys, stand outside the witch's tower, and Soggy offers himself up as shark bait. Hoo ha ha. Uh, Visanthus says, I like this plan. So, what do you guys do?
I don't think we have very many other options. I do not think that we have very many options. unless we intend to fight our way through. And if we are going to do that, I will not be very useful to anyone.
You are not very useful to anyone on a good day.
I know that. All I can do is my best. I know that a lot of times it isn't what we need, but this is what we have.
Yes, well, unfortunately, I cannot accomplish this without you, but your wretched light still burns my very soul. Well,
Well,
not my soul, 'cause I don't have one, but you know what I'm getting at.
When I have, do you know what iodine is?
Of course, I am a man of great learning.
And I assume that when you were immortal, you have had to have used it on occasion.
Yes,
Did that not burn as well?
of course.
Sometimes the burning that one can feel is exactly what it is that you need.
indeed.
And sometimes
Healing
it
is
is the
nothing but
fire of hell. But of course, you would know nothing about the flames of the damned.
Well, Soggy knows one, yep.
It's 8:27. I just got done
Oh,
cooking my apple.
uh, your mic's on.
Oh, sorry.
Bad data.
Yeah, sorry.
Um, so yeah, Visanthus, he's, you know, ready to, like, show you, the secret, oh wait, you already know where the secret entrance is. You let everybody else out. So, do you want to try to sneak in now, Soggy?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roly poly your stealth. Mm, mm, go ahead.
Na 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 19.
Yeah, there you go. So, you obviously are extremely stealthy as you basically do that ghost thing where you like float just above the ground and your body, such as it is, your essence, soul stuff, that can be seen, uh, basically is completely just air moving across the surface of the ground. If you disturb even the cobwebs, it's only for a moment before, everything goes back to being exactly as it was. You leave no path. You make no noise, and every door you come across, you like slip underneath the crack or through the keyholes, and your ethereal form just uh, effortlessly glides through the tower until you reach the inner sanctum. And this inner sanctum uh, has the mechanism, the door with the crazy locks, and once again everything has been reset, and so you have to solidify your form as much as you possibly can in order to try and manipulate the locks.
So, sleight of hand?
Yes. Just a nine. And although you got, you know, a 12, if you remember, this door was extremely complex, and busting your allies out was not the easiest thing in the world the last time. And so, as you're messing with the locks, suddenly the figures, because remember, carved into the door are tons of scenes of torture and
Torture and thing. So
yeah,
Soggy's sort of like trying to look away from it, but
yes. But here's what happens. As you fail the lock, suddenly the figures come to life, quote unquote, where they're not alive, but they start to move like an animated object and grab at you, and you have to make a dexterity save to avoid being grappled by them. You can also use acrobatics or, um, you know, your dexterity or acrobatics to like try and dodge out of the way as the hands and whatnot grab at you. Yeah, so you roll out of the way, and the figures on the door reach for you and try to grab you. They rip a part of one of your like regular clothes, tunics, like not your magical cloak or anything like that, but just like a tunic
like
that
the
you're.
rags and such.
Yeah, and they just rip a piece of that as they grab just one, handful of your rags, but you roll out of the way and they tear away from you. It appears as though these spirits trapped within the door can reach your ethereal form and come to quote unquote life when your sleight of hand check fails. So you have to wait, and they like go back into the door. The spirits die down, and you're able to try again. But if you fail again, you're gonna have to roll again. And if you get grappled, then they like can deal damage even to your spirit form. So do you want to try to unlock the door again, or do you want to do something else? What do you want to do?
Well, well, after seeing this happen, Soggy thinks to himself, maybe I should get Nova because she knows best about spirit stuff. And Soggy sort of like, uh, one question, DM. How close am I to, how far away is Nova?
Nova is back outside the tower waiting for you to get the key to shut down the golems so that you guys can get your stuff back.
Yes, Soggy sort of realizes this and sort of thinks to himself, okay, Soggy, what is best way to fight spirits?
You could use your point of inspiration to give you the best chance of not failing again.
Okay, I was going to roll like a religion or arcana check.
Yeah, but there's not really a way to like stop this from happening. You just have to not fail at the lock. You're like, all right, then I'll just take a no 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 19. So knowing that you can't get this wrong, you very carefully use your tools and your spirit form to carefully turn the lock, the mechanism until you can hear it click over, and the door opens, and inside is the grand, chambers of Lady Bathory, and this is possibly the most disgusting thing that you've ever seen. I'm not going to go into too much detail on it, but basically, uh, there is a huge um, bathtub filled with blood, and inside it is the bodies of two young women who have had their throats slit, and they're just left in the bathtub to fill it up with blood. There's bloody footprints leading all over. You can tell that she has bathed in bathtubs full of blood and just walked around dripping blood and leaving bloody footprints everywhere. But even more horrifying, you can hear coming from the other side of the wall the faint screams of one of her victims still alive and walled inside her chambers.
Sort of hearing this, Sagi decides to see if he can find a sort of doorway to this unfortunate soul, because his 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 sort of like he's sort of soaring the sort of good-willed path of folks like Nova and Donovan to like save an innocent soul.
The more of this witch that we learn of, the more she seems to me that she's based off of Mary Tudor.
She's based on Elizabeth Bathory,
Who's that?
The
famous.
Blood Countess.
Yeah,
She was, yeah. Mary Tudor and Elizabeth Bathory are the same person,
yes.
and she was not treated very well as a child. Was disowned by her own father because she didn't want to be considered an illegitimate child, and eventually became queen and went batshit insane and just started murdering people. She more than most, considering the population of her area, she is responsible for killing a higher percentage of her own population than anyone else throughout history.
Yeah. And Soggy, no, no. The victim is walled in, as in stone has been mortared in to the wall. There is no door. She is never meant to get out again.
Ah,
You can try to break down the stone, but you're in a spirit form, so
yeah,
it's
Soggy.
basically impossible for you to break it down.
Yeah, Soggy sort of hearing this, deciding to like trace the wall to mark it to find. He's going to mark it for the others to find, and continuing on, he searches to the bedroom.
So now you're going to have to roll investigation, and unfortunately, you've spent your point of inspiration. So you have no inspiration to spend on it. But hey, you do okay, and you manage to find a journal from the Blood Countess, Lady Bathory, who has written in her journal all of the gruesome things that she has done, and it's just like a day by day itinerary of torture and murder and blood rituals and sacrifices to dark gods, and roll a religion check. Oh no. So,
To be fair, Soggy is not good with the gods.
yeah. So you fail to notice mentions of the dark gods that she is in cahoots with, and only, um, you know, read the passages that describe, all of the torture and sacrifices and everything, but kind of miss the important parts, just because you don't recognize like the names of the gods, and she might use like a code or an old name, or whatever, but either way it manages to elude you. And so, closing her journal, you continue to investigate around until you find a small vial of blood, but this blood is no ordinary, oh, here's a little bit of blood in a vial. It's probably, dark, slightly like dried up, and all of that. This blood is bright red and um, very much still liquid, as if it had freshly poured from a wound. And uh, when you touch the vial, it begins to swirl like rhythmically, as if a heart was still pumping it, and um, you can feel the magic coming off of it. You know, that this is the key for the golems. However, well, I don't want to make you do anything. So what do you do?
Soggy, starts starting looking at this, is going to try and do an Arcana check to see if he knows anything about how it works.
Okay. Well, you know the basics, that like these uh master keys are like coded to a person, and um that allows them to control the constructs.
And realizing this, saying, Soggy is not that, thinking to himself, Soggy isn't that good at making keys. Better bring this to the others. And Soggy stores it away, along with the journal, because he thinks it's important still.
As you try to, put the vial in your pocket, you're ethereal and it drops to the floor. It's not going to break. You don't have to worry about that. But it just drops to the floor, and it chink, chink,
And
chink, chink, chink. It rattles around on the stones.
Soggy remembers this and, sighing, deciding to
Ugh.
carry, and mutters to himself, oh, the time where Soggy used to have body. Soggy mixes it so.
I realized something. That's
You.
gross. Like the vial didn't broke. It's a bunch of blood on the floor. Fell into just some big pile of blood clot. Like,
Yeah,
ugh.
yeah. Also, Soggy probably sings to himself at night. I ain't got nobody.
It would be specifically Soggy has nobody. Soggy
Can
has
anybody find?
nobody. Soggy
Can
has nobody.
anybody find me somebody to love?
Right? Yeah.
And
he,
after sort of
he
like
sings all
taking
those songs.
Yeah, I just
yes,
realized something too. I'm so glad that like this Wraith version of Sagi isn't like some pissed off undead. Like Nova, you said that you would bring me back, and what the hell happened? I was there the whole time as this vampire, and you were just like there torturing me with healing spells, and you kept saying you were gonna save me, and now I'm here. Ooga booga booga.
Ooga booga
Fuck you, minus 12 to strength.
booga.
Soggy is not like that.
He
He
doesn't
only
have too
gets
much venge
angry
on his
when
mind.
someone absolutely. He isn't worried about himself.
Yeah, good, because I don't have to get like Geralt after you or something like silver
Yeah,
swords and potions and shit.
yeah. So, Soggy, you can carry the vial or you can carry the journal. Which do you carry?
Soggy, and I can't hold them in both hands.
The journal. You're a small little kobold, remember? So the journal's very big and heavy. You need both hands to carry it.
Hmm. Soggy thinks for a moment, and using his connections to the bunyip, is going to have the tentacle throw it, throw it down the corridor, so like, sort of like throwing it so that it still is behind Soggy, so that you get the picture, right?
I don't think I do. You're throwing the journal?
I'm like I'm sort of like tossing the journal to like sort of like semi carrying it, but not carrying it. Like Soggy's holding the vial with his hands, with both
Yeah,
hands.
you have the vial of blood. I got that. And then and
And
then and then what's
so,
going on with the journal?
well, the tentacle Soggy summons is going to be like throwing it. Like first it's since it can't really move with the journal, it's going to be throwing it and then teleport to where the journal is located and then throw it again. Thus having it sort of guide around. Being in sort of Soggy's arm's reach still.
Ah, that's a really creative use of that.
So, uh, as the tentacle throws the book across the room, um, it's careful to under tentacle, uh, toss it rather than just chucking it and causing structural damage. I rolled a Constitution save for the book to see if it ripped apart, and apparently your tentacle was very careful in tossing it. Um, this is very slow going, however, and in the process, one of the golems comes down the hall, and upon seeing you and the tentacle, charges at you.
Soggy, seeing this, panics a bit and some uses summon elemental to sort of like block the way. And so it sort of summons this sort of soggy copy.
Uh, you're. Oh, never mind. Oh yeah, No, you can't summon the tentacle either, because that would effectively be a spell. Yeah, nope. There, you can't cast any spells in here.
Oh. So the tentacle is not gonna work?
Yeah, no.
So undo all that.
Yeah.
Soggy
But
Soggy
on the bright side, now you get a stealth check versus the golem rather than just automatically being seen. You slip past the golem, vial in hand.
Yeah, and I also just try to make sure to like leave the book in a place that he can remember to grab later.
Sure. So with the vial in your hand, you slip silently past the golem guard and making your way out into the chilly uh, air of the blood swamp at night. You make your way back to your party, and I'll let you guys take it from there.
Soggy sort of like pulls out the vial and says, "Soggy has found key."
Wow. You actually pulled that off. Good job.
Soggy was very careful. Also, Soggy found weird journal. If if you want, Soggy can guide you to where Soggy has left journal. Also, there is Lady in Wall. Thought we could save her.
Oh, you must be
Soggy,
making. Eh?
I am simultaneously impressed and confused.
Yes, Soggy was very confused when he heard screaming in Wall. But Soggy thinks that it can still be a way of trying to help and help alike. And Soggy just sort of grins. And Soggy sort of hands over the vial to Cress because he's he he figures that Cress could do the most out of figuring out.
Eh. This is. You're probably right. Alright. How do I figure this out?
Uh, as in like identifying it or what?
Like, what do I do with this?
I don't know. What do you mean?
You could roll an arcane check.
I mean, can I? I mean, I can just identify items if I hold them for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, are you gonna identify it?
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay, so you identify it. This is a key of golem control, specifically blood golem control, for the blood golems here at the Tower of the Blood Witch, and you need to attune to it in order to take control of said golems.
I guess since I've already sat down with the thing for 10 minutes, I go like, okay, I see how this works. I can take control of the golems just by attuning to this. So
You
I'm
should
gonna
be
do
careful. You should be very careful. That can be cursed. You should be very careful. What if it is cursed?
that. Then you'll
Here,
remove the
let
curse.
let me take a look at this.
You think I didn't do a good job? Nah,
Uh,
fine, take a look.
I think that I am infinitely older than you, and that my vast knowledge of the arcane exceeds yours.
I think that there's cobwebs in your head.
Well, at least I have all the bats in my belfry.
No counter arguments.
So,
Soggy sort of like looks at the two staring each other down and says, "There is no need to be so angry with one another."
Angry? I'm having fun. I
I-
actually like talking to him.
I don't think either of us feel this emotion.
Ugh, not now, anyway.
So,
Oh,
he,
Vicentis,
go ahead.
I think that you pretend that you are worse than you are.
I think that
I'm
you have not
gonna look at
seen
Nova.
how bad I can be.
I think you have a very, very poor memory.
Give me that vial so I can tell you if it is cursed or not.
Alright, fine. Here it is.
Ugh. You have Vampire Lord in your party and you just ignore him. Give me this. Ugh. Yes, look, clearly cursed.
How?
Look at Aura. And he like
He looked.
he sprinkles a little bit of his blood over it, and like the blood sizzles and burns and rises off of it in a single wisp of smoke. But then after the smoke kind of like clears and you stop looking at it, you can see that the vial is glowing with a sickly greenish blackish aura that looks like putrid oil slick.
Oh.
I gotta say, you're a baldy one.
Anyway, I just point to Nova and go like, "You can cast Remove Curse, right?"
I can, but I cannot do that currently.
Well, I won't need you to for a while, assuming I don't instantly die from this curse. Now give me that. I'm going to take the fucking thing back.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want the fucking cursed thing. Here, have it.
Great! I begin attuning to the
Cress.
thing.
Cress,
What?
you are more knowledgeable of the arcane than I am.
Yes,
But
not
what I
as
do
much
know
as
of magic,
me.
What's that?
most of my knowledge of magic comes from the divine, and I can bestow curses onto people and things as well.
Mm-hmm.
That curse could be absolutely anything. It could be as simple as you will now perpetually have an ingrown toe nail. Or it could be as devastating as the instant that you are finished attuning, you explode. Or every other horrible thing that you can possibly imagine. It is made and to be used for a blood witch. And even if I were to remove the curse, there is no telling as to whether or not the ability and the effects that it contains is not irrevocably linked with the curse in some way. If I remove the curse, there is a possibility I could just destroy the magic involved.
Okay.
I will
Then
not. I cannot
let
force
me
you to
tell-
do anything you don't want. I cannot force you to do anything. It is your choice to make, of course. But I highly, highly suggest you refrain from what it is that you are doing.
Chug it.
Cress is going to stand up and look Nova in
Skull
the
it.
eyes and just be
Soggy
like,
sort of like whispers to his senses and says, "Soggy bets it is ingrown toe."
Ingrown toe sounds very painful.
Cress is going to stand up, look Nova in the eyes, and with a wave of their hand, summon their new Reaper's Cowl and say, "Well, you'll need to have faith. I'm a hero. Things will work out fine." And with that, they sit down and resume attuning.
And don't forget that the Reaper's Cowl gives you a skull face.
I know the statement was meant to look kind of ironic in context.
Yeah.
Well, Nova is not particularly phased by it. She does seem to be startled, only because she's not sure of like what's about to happen. The last time you pulled out a head ornament of some kind, it attacked you. So she's like, it's not gonna try to eat me. Like she's
Okay.
she's not afraid of the mask, but she's afraid of the mask. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. So the basic plan here is that so long as Cress remains in control of their person after attuning, regardless of consequences, the very simple fact is that even if the removal of the curse breaks the items, there are ways to just insert a backdoor. Namely, Cress could simply declare the standing order, treat me as your master, and under most construct programming, that'll actually transfer. And if that don't work, we'll just take our items before removing the curse, if the curse is even all that bad, because I have a feeling it might not be. After all,
Okay.
a curse is supposed to make the item irremovable, which clearly that isn't a byproduct of this curse.
Also, I will say this
wait,
though.
wait, what? Why
What?
did you why would you say that?
Because it wasn't on the witch's corpse.
But okay, never mind.
I will say this.
So, like, I mean, I'm just going to
Remember,
proceed. What?
there are a couple of things in this game, in the way that our DM runs things, that is like, nah, that doesn't work.
I
Even
don't
though,
need
like,
that
the
explained
letter
to
of
me,
it.
but there's literally nothing I can do to plan around that, and I'm not going to hold stuff up by just not using the item. It's how we get our stuff back.
No worries.
I still think you should chug it.
Maybe I
Skull
will
it.
when I'm done. I'm kind of interested in what all this blood stuff is about.
So, we're gonna, you know, save a lot of the suspense here and everything, and say that you guys are definitely able to find a place to rest for the allotted amount of time that you need. It gives you the long rest. It gives you all of your spells. It gives uh, Cress Cress a chance to attune with the vial. And the curse, whatever the curse is, doesn't seem to be doing anything. Like your skin hasn't fallen off, your eyes haven't started glowing red, you're uh still like alive, and there doesn't seem to be any real negative effect from whatever the curse is. Um, and Visanthus, eyes you up and says, "Please tell me, are you sure that you are not feeling any ill effects?"
Soggy
No.
checks out the feet.
Don't
see if-
check my feet. Also, I don't have feet. Anyway. Sorry, babe. Someone was trying to check my feet.
They have magazines for that, little kobold.
Soggy was only trying to see if ingrown toe
Anyway.
was there.
Oh yeah, the ingrown
yeah.
toe.
Yeah, so to
Yeah.
explain why that's not a thing,
I'm gonna go to Soggy. I'm gonna kind of kneel, like bend over, put my Nova puts her hand in front of her mouth and whispers, "I am also betting to an ingrown toe."
Soggy
Guys,
just sort
to
of
let you know-
nods excitedly.
to let you know, the reason why I look like this is because my limbs were ripped out of their sockets when I was a child. I don't have hands or feet.
Oh, did your bully have the high ground or something?
Shh, you shut your ass.
Soggy sort of tilts his head a bit and says, "Why exactly did your legs and arms get ripped, as you said?"
She was fighting somebody who had the high ground, obviously.
That's a story for another time. If you want to hear about my pity time, I can tell you. I suppose I haven't revealed a lot about my past. But, to it. Yes, I also would share in your concern, Visanthus. I have a few ideas as to what this curse actually will be, since I haven't known any malign effects.
If there even is a curse.
It has a, well,
Why would I lie? Plus, what do you think that green-black aura was?
hypothetically, it might have been just an intrinsically evil stain to the nature of the magic used to create the item. But
Well,
that's hopeful thinking.
I suppose that it is possible she could not be compatible with the curse. But it's a long shot.
Cress will kind of put a hand to their, metallic chest and go, that's not something I
Beep
had
boop.
considered. But, what?
Beep boop.
Shush. And go, that's not something I had considered, but you might be right. Hmm. Anyway, let's go get our items back. I got a stick for you, and sharpened steel for you, and some sharpened steel for me. I don't think they took anything from Soggy, eh?
Soggy does not remember anything being taken from him. But
Good.
if Soggy also should note that we should check out that that journal is still important.
Oh,
Wait,
yes.
I
little
Let's
will.
definitely do that.
little kobold, what is inside your pack if they took nothing from you?
Soggy was carrying pack, and Soggy tries to sort of remember if he was carrying a pack or not because
Yeah,
he's
and as you remember it, you reach back and your bone boomerang that you made from the dragon bone has been carried over into spirit form. You have an ethereal boomerang that you can throw, and although uh, it's not a physical weapon, it can still be used, especially effectively against ethereal opponents.
Soggy
Oh
sort of
man, you can blast enemies with darkness. Does it do like necrotic damage?
It always did.
is it
Nice.
be, was that
Yo, you
because of the
friggin'
whole like associated with a dread dragon?
Yes.
yo, Soggy. You're like noob friggin' Cybot.
Yeah.
But
He's
a
all
lot more
stealthy,
dumber.
Eh,
a lot more dumber.
Alright.
Okay, so Soggy sort of saying, "Alrighty then, let us see if you can control the golems now."
Yes. With that, Cress is just going to kind of begin making their way directly to the front gate.
Nova has an ADD moment and thinks about a sea of lettuce.
If you do not mind, I'm going to hang back a bit until you prove you have control.
I kind of snap a
Oh.
finger and go like, "That's fine, Vasanthus. You just watch. The more confident between us do our work."
Yes, confidence or hubris, which is it?
Well, I'm sure they'll make the correct choice after I've won.
Good luck.
What is wrong with Huber?
Eh, I will explain it to you, little kobold, one day. But let's just say, were it not for my own hubris, perhaps you would not be here to annoy me now.
Alright.
I will look at the sharpened bit of steel in my hands. I will say, Thank you, Cress. And then I will walk over to Visanthus and I will stick my hand out, kind of present it to him, and I'll say, I do not want this. It would best be in your hands.
Oh, yes, I can see how you primitives would need this weapon. I will uh, say only this. My own natural weapons are far greater than anything you could craft.
Uh-huh.
It is important in all animals because all creatures have natural weaponry. Yes,
Yes, though not all equal, as our little kobold friend found out.
Sagi just sort of stares at Visantis, sort of like in a spiteful way before just sort of turning his attention to Cress.
Right, let's go.
All right. And as you stride up to the front gate, the golems step forward to stop you as they did before.
All right, let's see if I can get this to work. I announce to the golems, stand down.
They put their weapons back into their blood bodies and just have regular humanoid shapes.
All right. This is good. I'm going to then say, kneel.
They begin looking around for Neil, but they can't find him.
On the ground.
They kneel down.
All right. I'm going to kind of step up onto one of their knees and jump up and sit on a shoulder.
You mount a golem.
And then I'm going to kind of wave a hand at the party.
I guess I'll go over
She's
there.
signaling us.
Yeah, I'll react to the signal and go over there.
All right. Well, little kobold, I think we are being summoned.
Understood. Soggy is right behind you.
Uh-huh.
And so the party approaches.
Great. At that, I'm just going to say, you know, after all my business is done, I think I could renovate this place a little bit. I mean, the blood golems that are already here are I say, big plus. But let's conclude our business as they are. I simply, speaking aloud, offer an order. Bring all confiscated weapons here.
And as they're sort of going out and getting
Yo.
that Soggy's
What?
Soggy,
The golems are gonna come back with like a massive pile of like swords and shit.
That's why I phrased the order that
and
way.
and Soggy, sort of seeing all the golems under Cass's control, decides to head back to the bedroom, but not before sort of trying to bring Cress, or actually Nova along with him.
I'm gonna say, if
show
you guys are
him
gonna
the
try and walk past, Cress might note, it might not exactly be safe in there until I come with you. You might want to wait.
yes. Yes.
Nova blushes
Soggy
and says,
forgot.
out of character. I'm totally saying this out of character. Nova blushes and says, I do not think of you that way, Sagi.
Soggy sort of is very confused at that and says, Soggy was hoping to help women in war.
Oh yeah, it's already been 24 hours. She's probably dead. Uh, but also,
What?
Cress, you can have a point of inspiration for letting them know not to like go get murked by the golem still not under your control.
Yes, I figured it was only the right thing to do. Also, the GM's pulling your leg. She probably won't die that fucking fast.
Soggy sighs and says, "Oh, thank goodness." And
Like, just pointing out, simple idea. The witch hasn't been there for at least, like, some hours, so she couldn't have been bleeding to death or she would have already died. And beyond that, like, starving or thirsting to death or whatever it takes, she's probably still alive. All that stuff takes a little while.
Pretty much a minimum of 3 days,
Yeah, so she's gonna be there when we get back.
unless she was already there for 2 days before you got there.
Yeah, but man, that would just be some bad luck and would make everyone feel all kind of bad, and I know you wouldn't do that to us.
I said it was going to be a good session, so yeah, you're probably right, but quit metagaming.
I'm not metagaming per se, I'm actually jabbing at you for a previous incident that I think you can think of.
Uh,
Anyway. Anyway. So yeah, I wait for the golems to bring me my new pile of swag.
and indeed they do. You are no longer doomed to drift through the endless void with hardly any swag. Now you have uh well, you did specifically say bring all the confiscated weapons, so they only brought the weapons, but I mean
Well,
there is
and
everything from blades to bows to pole arms to um, wands and staves and rods and
just make
uh,
sure the stabs are returned.
yeah, and there's also um, strange and exotic weapons, spiked chains and firearms, and just all kinds of weapons confiscated from centuries of running this blood swamp.
I see. I simply look
What?
at
Wait.
my
She has guns?
Like primitive firearms, but yeah.
like the
yeah.
kind
Wow, I'm
that
not
is
gonna lie. I understand magic is magic, right? But I always love when like firearms are put into fantasy as if there's any competition. Because we all joke like how how like a dagger does 1d4 damage, when a longsword does like 1d8 damage. Well, in real life, a stab to the neck is a stab to the neck, and you're
Yeah,
dead.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny because it's like I don't need this gun. I could just like pop one off as soon as somebody walks in and call it a day. Like, oh, promise not pop. No, I'll transform into a dragon and duke it out.
these these ancient firearms are actually like almost inefficient compared to most other weapons just due to load times and all of that, but yeah.
Okay, are they like the original like Romanian rifles, which were like basically these big ass clubs with tiny cannons on them?
Yeah, basically, a little bit like that. It's musket load, and yeah.
All right, guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, imagine a 2x4, okay, that has like what you would imagine that a cannon that shoots cannonballs like that on a very tiny one, maybe a few inches wide, on top of this 2x4, and on the back end is a wooden spike.
Uh-huh.
And like you just light a fuse and you just point it, and it was like
Yep.
one of the original rifles.
Yep. That's
The
that's
Romanians
basically
had it,
it.
and they were pretty fucking brutal. And when you got close to them, you're like, oh, they shot their shot. And I'll just run up to them, and then they just beat you to death with the 2x4.
Uh-huh.
fantastic.
That is certainly an interesting collection of words you have just provided me with. Aha! Anyway, so class is going to gesture to the big pile of weapons dumped here and just go like, please, look around, take anything you like.
Soggy sort of like quickly shuffles through the stuff to see if to see anything of that looks familiar or looks interesting. So investigation.
The
Yeah,
golems
I guess
begin to look through the pile to see if there's anything they want.
I go, not you jackasses. The
Oh,
humans, or
they
the
like
living things.
they step back.
And
Also, I'm looking for. Why am I at disadvantage?
I don't know. Are you like tired?
It's the curse.
I shouldn't be. I like slept for
Oh
2 hours.
yeah, there
instead.
you are. You were. Yeah, let me fix that. And then you're still affected by strength -7, and so Nova has to restoration you.
Yeah, go ahead. Just assume that automatically I do that.
Yep, there you go. Boom, boom, done.
If it's all the same, we would have done that as soon as
Yep,
we woke up. Boop.
Anyway,
Yep.
so I look for my missing blades so I can refix them to my arm.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I also look for my staff.
You guys easily find your stuff. That's not hard. But in the course of your investigations, both of you also find something rather unique and interesting. Cress, you find a wand carved from a hand. Like
Ew.
it's a hand and a forearm like shriveled up, and it's just like the loose sinew or the tight sinew and skin like dried as the finger points out, and you hold on to the forearm and use the wand, and it contains a variety of necromantic spells like enervation, ray, and finger of death, etc. And Soggy, although you won't be able to like carry it unless you like hold it constantly, you manage to find a very special ceremonial dagger that is part of your kobold clan's um, like rituals where they worship the dark gods and everything. Um, this is one of their specific kobold ceremonial ritual daggers, and basically what it does is it gives you an extra spell slot as a warlock.
ooh,
That's nifty.
this shall be useful in the ways of the bunyip. And Soggy sort of like floats over to to Nova and says, "Are have you found your things?"
Yeah,
Um,
well,
what?
the staff of
Well, get to
healing
that.
the staff of healing stands out rather like a big red thumb amongst the pile of everything else, because not a lot of divine clerics come this way and all of that. So the glowing white ivory and gold staff like definitely is noticeable.
Um, yes, I have found my staff. Thank you, Sagi. What is it that you have found? Oh, I will look over at first. I'm going to look over at Crest and I'll point. That is one of the most unsanitary things that I have ever seen.
Soggy
Yeah, it
sort of
looks pretty ugly. I'm thinking I'm going to cover it in a copper tube.
And
Soggy sort of pulls out the dagger and says, "This it is from tribe. old tribe used
Real.
to celebrate
Sorry.
old to celebrate dark gods. But now it is in claim of Soggy. He will use it for good.
You have a blessed heart, Soggy. I wonder what it looks like. For some reason, I can't stop imagining like a Cree, like a ceremonial like dagger. It's all wavy.
Yeah, I kind of pictured it a little bit like a miniature one-bladed batleth instead of like how the batleth has like the two blades like that, like basically like just one half
Or
of
like
a
a
batleth.
maclech. It's
Yeah,
like it's like the hand one, and it's got like the
yeah,
hand guard in the front. It's like a sword axe kind of thing.
yeah.
But it's real small. Like
Right. Obviously, because it's like designed for a kobold. Then on top of that, but
yeah,
I like to imagine that as Soggy's talking about how he's going to use it for good, he's also just kind of swinging it about recklessly.
Soggy does that. But in other cases, Soggy sort of like looks back up to the thing and says, Soggy doesn't know why, but that book looks like something you could understand. Nova, that is why I need you.
and
Yes.
well, I'm so sorry. What is it you need me to look at?
It is this weird book. Very strange. Had the
Yeah.
whole associated with the witch.
Uh,
I'll take a look at it.
yeah. The Visantis grab his sword.
Oh yes, of course. I would not be parted from it unless I knew that I would be getting it back.
Yeah. I addressing the golems once again. I gesture to the pile of weapons and say, confiscate every item left here on the ground.
And they do so.
And I'm going to kind of, you know, uh, putting my hand on the head of the one I'm writing, say, take me to the bedroom.
We don't think of you that way.
Take me to the fucking bedroom platonically.
Oh, okay. You're lucky we golems don't really talk. it's
Yeah, you are lucky you don't talk.
it's he stands up with you on his shoulders and takes you in. Well, I shouldn't say he, it.
Yeah. sorry. It's just the joke is like, you grew a gender there real fast.
Yeah.
They are non binary.
The Tower of the Blood Witch, the tantalizing story of a blood golem in a cyborg.
Oh god, that would be a romance
That,
novel worse than Twilight.
Yeah,
oh my fucking
possibly.
god.
It's still a better love story than Twilight.
Lol. Alright. So what's it like when we get there? I assume everything right where Sagi left it?
Yes.
Alright, great. I'm going to go like, well,
And is the woman still screaming?
Uh, you listen carefully but cannot hear anything.
Soggy goes in a full panic mode and goes to the wall that is marked
alright.
and just sort of like point over here to sort of like to and points that to like Nova and Cress.
Cress is going to hop down off the golem they were riding, and walking over, begin to try and work a claw betwixt the stones of the wall.
The fresh mortar is easy to begin to chip away as it has not had years and even weeks to harden.
Is it okay?
And so as you begin to remove the stones, you can start to slowly see inside, and curled up in the corner is the body of a humanoid.
I'm going to kind of finish making my way in and kind of get close and check to see if they're alive.
Medicine.
Not a great check of mine, but I'm just
Well,
checking
I'll
the
help.
pulse. No, you won't. I'm good.
He rolled a 20.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Yeah. So as Cress checks, you can see that this humanoid is still breathing, though she is nearly completely dehydrated and emancipated. She's been tortured for a lot longer than how long she's been walled in here.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for being a vocabulary Nazi, but I think the word you're trying to say is emaciated. Emancipated is something
Oh
completely
yeah,
different.
yeah. I slipped
I'm
up
like
there.
she became her own custody of herself.
No. Yeah,
Like,
emaciated, dehydrated, and starved down to skin and bones.
Right. I'm like, Nova, you still eat food, right? Can you spare some for this poor lady?
of course,
Right.
I will.
I'm going to kind of pick her up and transport her out of the hole in the wall.
And Soggy then heads over to, and then Soggy sort of heads over to where the where the book is, and picks it up and shows it to the others.
That's a hard explanation for your lady there. It's like you don't understand. It's a dungeon. I mean, it's a.
And so, Nova, as you read the book, you recognize instantly that the Blood Witch was involved in some dark rituals meant to resurrect the god of undead, and um this is very, very bad, because the last entry states that she had succeeded in finding the right ritual, and the cultists were ready to move forward with it, um, immediately. And so you don't know like where everything is at, but you do know that uh, she seemed very confident that the god of undead was going to be brought back to this world like very shortly. And there are some clues as to like where this ritual would be, but you need to study the book further to like really like narrow it down.
Um, does it state the name of the god or a kind of description of it? Is there any symbols of it? And if
Uh
it is, do I know them?
there well, you recognize it as the god of the undead, but the
Okay. Is it like Orcus?
no.
Because if it's like Orcus, we have a fucking problem.
No, it's not Orcus.
Okay. 'Cause I'd be like, yo, Pasantis, we gotta do something about this. Like even vampires, like he's
Yeah.
the bad dude.
Yeah. Nope, it's not Orcus. It's an ancient god of the undead that like is basically like forgotten to time.
Okay. What do I know of this god? All right. Let me ask one of my original questions. Do I recognize which god this is?
Uh the ancient god of the undead that existed before Orcus.
Okay. What do I know of him?
That he's like dead, banished, not in this world any longer.
Okay. Um, what was his like, for lack of a better word, like what was his shtick like just general kill everybody and turn them into an army of the undead because I can guy, like
Yeah,
take over the multiverse deal.
yeah, like God of the Undead.
Studying the book and reading into it, does it seem as if this ritual was heavily dependent on her?
Nope.
Okay. Um, I will close the book as I no longer wish to view its horrid contents, and I will say we have a significant problem. Um, she was on the verge of returning into this world, an ancient and powerful god of the undead. The ritual that she was going to perform is not dependent on her and is still is very much about to go underway. This is something we cannot allow to happen.
Oof, that does sound bad.
Very little is
Soggy did
known
not
about this
recognize
deity.
the name.
Very little is known about this deity, except that he was so terrible that the he was banished and destroyed. Um, I I do not know of anything that can do such a thing to a god, except for another god. And most often than not, gods don't really kill each other. So if that is the case, then this deity is particularly powerful and is a serious threat.
Hmm. Luckily, with our great minds put together, we can we can certainly take it.
Cress, what do you think?
Ah. Well, I suppose. Ugh. Ah. I guess this can't really be left to simmer.
No, I agree that we should definitely do something about this.
Yes. Unfortunately, it means putting the main plan on hold for a little bit, but I suppose we can take a small detour to soak the soil in more blood.
And so,
Soggy sort of looks up and says, "Who knows? Maybe our quest is tied into this whole thing."
Maybe.
it seems our destiny is, at the very least, interwoven with this. And so, with that information and the determination to do something about it, that is where we draw to a close for this session of Heroes Wanted.
Oh, hold on a second, real quick. I just wanted to ask about the swag. Um, Anything in that big black bag for me, wizard?
Nope. That that
Oh,
was that was all the like specific special stuff in there. There's not a whole lot of holy divine stuff coming around this way, and so anything magical in there would probably not be something that you would want to touch. Like the hand.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And
Okay.
and so with that, we draw to a close. I want to thank you guys for playing. I want to thank anyone who's watching. And as always, everyone, good gaming.
Good
Good
gaming!
gaming.
Okay.